That doesn't mean it's better. Okay, you can do either one, whatever one's easier. Okay. The nice thing with this is the fractions are gone. It's guaranteed to never have a fraction in your answer. Okay, which is nice. Okay, and most students like that. See, one smile, that's good. Okay, no fractions are wonderful. Okay, so here we go. Example 1. Says solve with elimination. It says 2x plus 5y equals 8. I'll call that 1. And we're going to say 5x minus 2y equals 2. Okay, if we were doing substitution, what would I have to do here? Going back to the old bit, what would I have to do? Oh my goodness, Spider-Man here. I'll try it. Yeah, go ahead with that. Isolate. Yeah, I'd have to choose either one of the x or the y. And the problem was, if I were to choose x in the first, you'd have 5 over 2, and we wouldn't be happy. If I were to choose y in the second one, I'd have 5 over 2 again, so we wouldn't be happy. We're going to do something called elimination here to eliminate one of the variables. So this is treating it like common denominators. I'm going to look at the y values, and I see a 5 and a 2. I'm going to want to find a way to make both of those numbers the same. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add downwards. Okay? So I'm going to treat this like a common denominator. What's the lowest common denominator of 5 and 2? 10. Okay, good. So what do I have to multiply the first equation by to get 10y? 2. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say times 2. And when I times it by 2, what it's going to turn into is 4x plus 10y equals 16. So everyone see that? I multiplied the x's by 2, the y's by 2, and also the numbers by 2. Now this is tremendously important. Okay? Now the reason I multiplied by 2, the easiest way is thinking either LCD. If you don't like LCD, you can think, well, there's a 2 here. Okay, right? So it has to go through. For as far as the second equation, what am I going to multiply the second equation by? Well, negative 5 would make them the same, okay, and that's okay. I'm just going to multiply them by 5 because I want a 10 on the top and a negative 10 on the bottom. Because then I can just add them up right top down, and 10 minus 10 will cancel out. Okay, so I multiply this one by 5. Now again, you could do negative 5 if you want, but then you have to subtract, right? And that's, I like adding better. So this is going to turn into 25x minus 10y equals 100. Please be brave and ask. We'll do lots of these today. Okay, this is all we're doing today. Okay, there's no word problems. Today's just algebra. Tomorrow we'll get into word problems. Okay, this is just making sure this is good. So we're just algebra.
So it doesn't matter if you multiply by 5 or not.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if I multiplied this by negative 5, I would have ended up with this as a negative 10, sorry, positive 10, and then you would have had to subtract them, right? So this one I'm just going to add north-south, and I'll end up getting things to cancel out, right? So I'll do 4 plus 25 is 29x. 10 minus 10 is nothing, and then 100 plus 16 is 116. Okay, if that would have been positive 10, then it would have to subtract the second row, and then, I don't know, I just like adding better, I like adding, okay, right, so you're just 10 minus 10. Now, if you take a look now, y has been eliminated. That's why this is called elimination. Okay, and in one step, with no fractions, I've gotten rid of y. Okay, how do I solve for x? I forgot somebody that never raised their hand. Nick, go ahead. Good, so divide both by 29 there, okay? Hopefully that'll work out to be a nice number. 4, lovely, good. And if you look at that, there's no fractions involved. So I'm so happy. Okay, maybe you guys aren't happy, I'm thrilled though. Okay, unfortunately I'm not done this question. What's the final step I have to do to solve this question? Noah, go.
Sub 4 into
Yeah, I definitely sub into the first equation because everything's positive here. You can sub into one of the other ones to get y. Okay, so now I'm going to sub.
If you do the original equation wrong.
You can use any one. You can use any of these will all work. Okay, this one's the smallest, so I'm going to choose to sub into 1. Okay, so now I'm going to sub x equals 4 into 1 to get y. Okay, so it's going to say 2 bracket 4 plus 5y equals 8. Bailey, how you feeling? Okay. 2 times 4, I think, is 8. So we're going to say 5y equals 8 minus 8. Like that. And that is a piece of beauty, okay? The reason that's nice because otherwise we're in fractions all over the place for the between steps. Okay. Now we're doing a million of these to make sure life is good. Bailey, question?
Will y always equal 0?
No, it will never always equal 0. Okay? Like we're going to, let me rephrase. It's only wherever the intersection happens to be here, okay? So we're going to do this question in a few minutes. And if we had an answer of whatever it was, 2 and negative 3 or whatever the answer was, okay? Or I can't remember the answer off the top of my head, right? But whatever that was, we'll do that and you should still get the same answer. And that's one of these on the board for you guys to try right now, and then we're going to move on from there. Now, any question on the structure here? We had to get like common denominators, right? You wanted to pick a plus and one's a plus, one's a minus, but of the same number. So just when you add them together, then it cancels out. Okay, then divide by the coefficient.
Yeah. Like it's a big number and we don't know the common denominator, the most common denominator automatically is 1.
Yeah, right on. So the question was, Noah said, let's say it was like huge numbers, you couldn't do lowest common denominator. Yeah, it's just like a fraction, right? Like it's the same thing. So what I always do when I do this, I'll multiply this by this number and this by that number. All right, so I will always do that. I'll always get it as long as they're the same, right? Like again, sorry, I'm struggling here today, but I'll just get a bigger number and you can use your calculator all the way through. Okay? Does this sort of make sense before I keep going?
How come you did the second equation? How can you multiply it by 5?
Because what I did was I wanted these two numbers to be the same, right? So if I figure if I multiply this by 2, I'll get 10. If I multiply this by 5, I'll get 10, negative 10.
Oh.
So the idea is that you want those two. I could have, if I really wanted to be crazy, I could have multiplied this by 5 over 2 and yuck. Okay, right? But they're, as long as the numbers are the same. The easiest way to do it is just to multiply it by the opposite. And that's what Noah was saying, right? So you take this, multiply by this number, take this, multiply by that number, and you're good. Okay? All right, here we go, example 2, and then we'll all hit pause the video. I want you guys to try this out. If you're not 100% confident with this, raise your hand, that will get you started. Okay, I'm going to pause the video, try this one out. That's 1 and negative 2, I'll hit pause. And give you a chance to get started on this.